Hi, I'm Julie Kerr, writer and director of the romantic comedy Geek Loves Punk, and in this video I will be teaching you, giving you some tips on how to write screenplays. So the thing is that, so screenplays have there's something called a screenplay format. Okay, tip number one if you're writing a screenplay. So a lot of folks don't know this, and there's no reason why they wouldn't know this. Most of us grow up reading books. Like these are all my books. And books, this is a book on eating healthy. But you'll see books have they're kind of pretty and they have fonts and colors and that kind of thing. I've only seen the screenplays that I've ever seen. They're kind of just like, this is what they look like. Okay. Mine's kind of toe up because I'm a micro budget filmmaker. Right? Okay, so this is screenplay number 10. You'll see it should say Geek Loves Punk number 10. So this is the 10th draft, by the way. And the draft you actually see of my movie on my website, that's actually, technically that's like the 18th draft of a screenplay. But we'll get to rewriting later. I've already scared you. Okay, the thing about rewrites is, for me, once I've changed a little bit of the script, then it turns into a new draft. So the 18th draft, that doesn't mean I rewrote it 18 times. It just means that it just means I tweaked it just enough where, for me, it qualifies as a new draft. So yeah, okay. But alright, so this is the 10th draft of my movie, Geek Loves Punk. So this is what a micro-budget screenplay looks like. Okay, so the font is Courier, right? Okay, so you'll see that. So essentially, step one, you want to use screenwriting software, basically. And in my opinion, there's free screenwriting software that you don't have to pay for. You can just Google free screenwriting software. The industry standard in Hollywood is Final Draft, which at first, I didn't use. I used free screenwriting software. I used something called Celtex, and it worked fine. I used Celtex for the entire Geek Loves Punk screenwriting process, and it was great. I went ahead and moved on to Final Draft because it is the best, so to speak. It's the best. It's the industry standard, and Celtex was like an online thing, so your script's online, versus Final Draft. Final Draft, your screenplay is on a hard drive. A document that you can actually edit is on your hard drive, which is why I like Final Draft. So, okay, but you don't have to start with Final Draft. Final Draft is not too bad as far as how much it costs. If you buy it, the license, I think is $200, which I know that's a lot of money, but also you could get I think you can get a subscription model where it's a little less expensive than that. I think it's less than $100 a month or whatever. No, don't quote me. But Final Draft does cost money, essentially, at the end of the day. So Celtex is free. So by all means, you're going to need screenwriting software, some kind of screenwriting software. And it's totally up to you. I say at first you don't need to spend too much money on screenwriting software. That's my opinion. But a lot of people don't know this, that screenplays have a structure. So this is my cover, because I'm a micro-budget filmmaker. All right. So, okay, so this is what a screenplay looks like, and then all my scribble notes are on them. But okay, let me get closer, something that doesn't have so much scrabble on it. Alrighty, here we go. So the way screenplays work is, so you have that's the character, this is the dialogue, these are the actions. Right? Okay, and then character, dialogue. And there's a scene beginning and a scene ending. Okay. And so, and if you get a screenwriting software, it's going to tell you very easily how to implement these things. There's an interior, exterior, basically the information people need to know in a screenplay is, Is it going to be inside? Is it going to be outside? So I think screenplays look like blueprints because they are blueprints. Okay, so the reason why screenplay structure is so important, and then finally I would recommend the first book. This is a book I bought in college and it's really great. It's called Screenplay Writing the Picture, and it says, okay, it's as close to a screenwriting Bible as you're likely to find, and that's true. If you start with this book, and this book is so good, at the end of the book it recommends all the other screenwriting books that you should also read. And I've been slowly but surely reading all the screenplay books, but I would say start with the Screenplay Writing the Picture by Robin Russin and William Missouri Downs. Okay, so the reason why screenplay structure is so important is because each page represents 1 minute on screen. That's super important. It's important no matter what, but it's definitely important if you're a micro-budget filmmaker, because essentially it's coming out of your pocket. Like, essentially, we pay for our own movies, right? So 1 minute on screen, you need to know how long the movie actually is, because you need to know how much it's going to cost you to make it. so like, if you don't follow this structure, and you write it more like a short story, right? Or you write it more like a book. This is my eating healthy book thingy. But if you write it more like a book, then you could have like 5 or 6 minutes of film on one page, and you don't want that, because then you're misrepresenting how much the screenplay, or you're misrepresenting how much the movie is going to cost to make. So you want to follow the screenplay structure is really important. And I had a friend who she didn't know anything about screenwriting structure. No biggie. There's no reason why you would know. I didn't grow up reading screenplays. The first time I wrote a screenplay, I wrote it as a play, and then I entered it into a screenwriting contest, and it placed in the contest. It won an award, but what happened? Oh, but then they told me, they're like, hey, it was really very well written, and then they said, but it's totally written in the wrong structure. So what you thought was a 10-page play is actually like a 30-page screenplay. Okay, so yeah, because you're paying for it, you really want to follow screenplay structure. And then, yeah, I did have a friend who, like I said, she didn't know anything about screenwriting structure. There's no reason why she would know that. But she wanted to make a movie that was 6 minutes long and enter it into a contest. And the contest said, it was like a short screenplay contest, and no, it was a film contest, but yeah, it was like a short film contest, and in the contest, the short films had to be like 6 minutes. So she sent me like a script, but it was written like a play, and so she's like, and it was 6 pages, but it was 6 pages written like a play. So in screenplay structure, it was actually like a 15-page screenplay. So I told her, hey, no biggie, but there's something called screenwriting structure. It's like a thing. And I was like, you want to follow it, because this contest you're entering, it says the short has to be 6 minutes, or it's not even, the judges aren't even going to look at it. And she's like, oh, I didn't know that. And I was like, yeah, no worries. Like, there's no reason why you would know that. Most people, we don't grow up reading screenplays. Okay, so yeah, screenplays are a blueprint for the movie. It's super important to follow the structure. Once you get used to screenplay structure, especially if you use screenwriting software, it's super easy. You just click, you're just hitting tab. I mean, the screenwriting software makes it super easy, where you're like this writing your screenplay. It's no biggie if you use the software. If you don't use screenwriting software, it's I can't even imagine. You're hitting tab like a lot. So just, use the screenwriting software. I'm sure there's tons of free screenwriting software out there. But yeah, use screenwriting software. Okay. Step number 2 to screenwriting is just to, okay. My favorite author, Steven Pressfield, he said this, and I will get the book, but he said it, and I agree with him. For your first draft of your screenplay, and we're talking like a 90-page screenplay, just get, I'm not trying to be funny, but just get words on paper. Like, it's a first draft. It's probably gonna maybe suck. I mean, my first drafts suck. And I'm kind of just being facetious. I'm just joking. Not that a first draft isn't gonna suck. You know, a first draft's probably gonna be just fine. Like my first drafts, they're just fine. Your first draft, it'll probably be just fine. But I think the biggest hurdle in screenwriting is just writing that first draft. So you gotta think of yourself like a speed runner, or think of yourself like a baseball player. As soon as you crack the bat, as soon as you hit the ball and you take off running, think like that. You gotta be going like this and just get words on paper for 90 pages. Okay, one second. Yes, okay, so step 2 of screenwriting, especially writing the first draft, writing 90 pages, just get words on paper. And so this is Steven Pressfield, one of my favorite authors of all time. And he has something called these jabs. You can get them on his website. And this is Steven Pressfield. Yes. You can totally like Google him and get his stuff. But okay, so he says in here, this is covering the canvas, notes on writing the first draft of a novel or a screenplay. What he says, I could not agree more. Just write the first draft. Get 90 minutes on paper. If you're making a movie about a killer clown, just write. Just get the 90 pages done, okay? Because don't overthink it, don't over-edit it, don't worry about it. It's a first draft. And the reason, and what Steven says, and I agree with him, what he says here, to think about why you want to write a first draft as quickly as possible is because you're gonna be rewriting it anyway. So, you know, like my screenplay, this is draft number 10. I shot draft number 10. So you're gonna be rewriting the screenplay anyway. You're gonna be tweaking anyway. So don't overthink the first draft. You just gotta get it done so that you can, basically what he says, write the first draft so that you can start the rewriting process as soon as possible. Okay, so that's step number 2. Okay. Step number 3 on screenwriting is to write good dialogue. And I know that's sort of easier said than done, but not necessarily. Here's what I recommend. Like some really good dialogue writers. One is Quentin Tarantino, who writes really good dialogue. But so what I would do is take a tape recorder or even take your phone, and then if you're having dinner with your family or some friends, just record the conversation. Let them know you're doing that. And just record like a couple of minutes of it. But the reason why you're going to do that is it helps you practice how people actually like talk. So, you know, when I went to college, when you're in college, you're writing like dissertations and like papers and collegiate papers and la la la. That's actually you're not doing that when you're writing dialogue. Because think how people talk. People interrupt each other, people use slang, people stop, and then they start talking. So in mid-sentence, like what I just did, so with that, so the reason why you're recording your family talking or your friends talking for a couple of minutes, then go to your snazzy screenwriting software that you've gotten for free or bought, whatever floats your boat. But then go into your screenwriting software, listen to the conversation, and write it out. And it gives you an idea of how people talk. Because, and that way you know that when you're writing dialogue, that you can have it written in a way that sounds like natural and cool and fun and that kind of jazz. So that's my tip on how to write good dialogue, and that's how you practice writing good dialogue. My other tip is, as far as writing good dialogue, is go ahead and read poetry. Even listen to really good music, like Kendrick Lamar is a really good writer in his lyrics. But listen to music, because music, or read poetry, because poetry also is written in a prose kind of way. It's written with a certain rhythm to it, and it's not writing. It's not like a newspaper article. It's not written like a book, how you'd read a book. It's written in a more prosy, dialogue-y type way. So it gives you, it helps you practice more how to write dialogue, because you want to hear how people talk. But at the same time, since the movie, yes, you want to write how people talk. You're gonna read poetry because you're gonna add your own sense of poetry to the dialogue. Because yeah, you want to write how people talk, but then add a little bit of awesomeness to their dialogue, because then they're saying cool, fun, awesome things that makes the viewer interested. Fun to watch. It makes the movie fun to watch if the people are saying, yeah, they're talking in a natural way, but then they're saying kind of cool, awesome stuff. So yeah, those are my tips on writing dialogue. So write good dialogue. Okay. So the next tip is, okay, so you're going to pick a genre, pick whatever genre you want. Let's say a killer clown movie. That's my go-to fake movie. Okay, you've picked your genre, horror film, killer clown movie. Great. Now what you're going to do is, my next tip is, have a cool plot. So there's tons of books on writing screenplays. You should totally for sure read all of them, or one or two of them at least. But once you sit down and write the screenplay, you're going to want to have a cool plot. So before you write the screenplay, and maybe this should have been the first step, or I can always edit it. So, okay, but anyway, so in order for the screenplay to have like a cool plot, a fun plot, or whatever plot you wanted to have, you're the writer. Okay, so the way I do it, and I mean, I'm pretty sure I did not invent this. This is not trademark Julie, but in the sense, like, I don't own this. This is not copyright me. But okay, so the way I do it, and I like to do it, is as far as figuring out the plot of a movie, my favorite way is to be visual. So I like good old-fashioned pen and paper. So I take these index cards, which were $1 at Target. Okay, so these are index cards. They're different colors: blue, red, green, purple, yellow. Yeah, so I do the index card thing. Then I take these Sharpies, right? Okay, so what I would do is I'll put, like, let's say, I'll do like 10 blue cards, 10 red cards, and 10 green cards. And basically each color represents like the first act, right? The second act and the third act of the movie. And then I'll just, with these Sharpies, just write out what happens, and each card represents a scene for me. And I just write out what happens in that scene. And that's what I do. And then if I want to move some stuff around, and I put it on my table. My table's like right behind this camera. So anyway, I don't know. So anyway, so then I just move the cards around if I want to play around with the plot a little bit, and that's what I do. And then after I do that, and I'm happy with what I have, then there's something called a movie treatment. And so what I would say, if you're a micro-budget movie filmmaker, if you're just writing a screenplay that you know you're going to make yourself, which is what I did, yeah, in my opinion, movie treatments aren't necessarily that important. They're really important in LA, in Hollywood, because that's what helps you like sell screenplays, where Hollywood like gives you money for your screenplays. That's awesome. Okay, but if you're writing a screenplay that you're just gonna make yourself, I don't think treatments are necessarily that important, but by all means. So a treatment is just a 2-page short story of your movie. So let's say you have a movie, let's go with killer clown movie. Okay, so you're gonna make a killer clown movie and you're gonna sit down and write a screenplay. So what you're gonna do is, before you write the screenplay, once you've done your note card thing, that's how I do it, Then you're going to just write the 2-page, like a short story, like once upon a time, although you want to keep it very visual, because that's the difference between a treatment and a short story. But with a treatment, keep it as visual as possible because it's a movie, right? So with books, you can be like, the hills are alive, right? Or you can describe everything. You can describe the trees and the hills and all that. But with screenplays, you kind of want to keep it pretty succinct. So, okay, the treatment, if you're making a Killer Clown movie, you're just going to write a 2-page, basically short story that encompasses the entire Killer Clown movie. So you're like, Act 1, Killer Clown enters the carnival, right? And then you just write your whole act. And then Act 2, you know, that's where everything gets amped up. Act 3, that's where everything gets resolved. So that's the 2-page treatment. So between your cards and your treatment, that's when you sit down and write your screenplay. So yeah, those are my 3 tips on how to write a screenplay. So yeah, my challenge to you is go ahead and write a screenplay. Start writing a screenplay today, or at least do the note card thing. That's super fun. So bust out some note cards, some paper, go ahead and figure out the storyline of your movie, and then write your screenplay. And yeah, that is my call to action for you, is go ahead and write a screenplay and be awesome. Hi everybody, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you loved it. I hope you had a great time. If you absolutely loved the video, subscribe to my channel and click the like button and click the bell button and just go bananas, and you can enjoy more awesome videos that I made for you. Okay, now also, if you'd like to experience a really funny, awesome, amazing romantic comedy that's 90 minutes and that makes you like think thoughts and stuff, then mosey on over to my website. The link is down below this video. It's www.juliekerrstudios.com, and that's where you can exclusively experience the awesome, the amazing, the fantastic, the funny romantic comedy that I directed called Geek Loves Punk. Also, if you would like to join my email list, that would be super awesome. If you join my email list, you immediately get free access to a PDF worksheet that I created and designed, and you also get a video that helps you learn how to use that worksheet. So, I grew up in an abusive home as a child. As an adult, I'm doing great. I mean, look at me. Anyway, so what I designed was, I really got into personal development, and because I grew up in an abusive home, I used to deal with a lot of sadness. But now I'm doing quite well. So I created a PDF that gives you the 5 daily tips, 5 daily habits that I do every day to feel good every day, to feel love, joy, and kindness every day. So if you join my email list, you immediately get access to the PDF, the Love, Joy, and Kindness PDF, and the video that accompanies with it, that shows you how to use all the habits in the worksheet. So if you join my email list, you can go to my website to join my email list, or see the link below on how to join my email list. And finally, if you'd like to leave a comment below or ask me any questions you might have about filmmaking, personal development, anything in the world, my favorite color, whatever interests you, I'd be happy to answer any questions or comments you have below. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're having the best day, night, week, year ever, and you're awesome. Be good to yourself, be kind to yourself, and be your own best friend. Okay, love y'all, and talk to you later. God bless.